Okay, he's only been doing it for a short while. Okay, same as most of these dudes, but he's here for you right now. Please give it up, go absolutely crazy now for Mr. Aaron Gocs. Let's go!
Thanks, Mike, and thank you, Mark, the lovely sound man. Thank you. You don't have to do everything I say, but it helps. No. Thanks a lot for coming out, everyone, supporting comedy. I'm glad to be here. I was a bit worried I couldn't make it because I had another booking, but I was lucky to get out of that. The booking was for an AA meeting. Well, it's actually probably not the kind you're thinking of. This was actually Apathy Anonymous, so turned out fine. That was cancelled due to lack of interest. So. But you know, I'm gonna be telling you a few jokes that I've written over the years tonight, and I really hope you'll enjoy it. I think you will because I've been getting a few rave reviews off of critics lately. Yep, they're rave reviews. They said they enjoy my glow sticks, and they think I could do with a few more 100 beats per minute. So good times. I'd like to introduce myself to you, just a bit about myself. I'd like to start off with telling you what I do for a crust, or sometimes money when bills need to be paid. I do blue collar work, quite proud of it. So proud, in fact, that I decided to wear my blue collar along to work. My boss was fine with it. He just said, next time, can you wear pants and shirt as well? But blue collar work is tough and physical work, you know, which is fine when you're young and well, I'd like to say fit, but let's just leave it at young. And so it's fine then, but you know, it's not the kind of thing you can do for the rest of your life. So it gets me thinking about the future quite a bit, and jobs that I could potentially have in the future. And the other part of that is I might want to live somewhere else. Like, and I was thinking it'd be great in the future to live in Hawaii. But what would be a good job to have if I lived in Hawaii? And the answer I came up with was Minister for Agriculture. Because think about it, all you'd have to do is make sure there's enough pigs and pineapples and everything would be fine. That was a pizza joke, by the way. But, you know, working in a blue-collar environment, it's interesting, you know, because you hear a lot of sayings get thrown about. After a hard day's work, all the boys head back into the change rooms to get changed, go home, and you hear some funny sayings. And I heard someone say, another day, another dollar. You know, and this really concerned me. So I approached the guy and said, you should really consider joining a union, mate. That's a pretty low wage you got there. Yeah. Nah, don't encourage me. Nah. But another thing I'd like to tell you about myself, I've recently moved into a new area, and it's actually fine. Most things are fine, but there's one little thing that concerns me, and that is that I think Jesus might be lost in this area. The reason I think this is every couple of weeks, two guys knock on my door and they give me a brochure that says, have you found Jesus yet? I tell them, no, I haven't, but I'll keep my eyes open for anyone made out of bread and wine. That was a communion joke. Anyway, this is good. Does anyone like St. Paddy's Day? Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I love it. But a lot of people love it, and but my problem with most people is they only do token things to get in the Irish spirit, you know, like, oh, I'm doing a little jig, I'm wearing a bit of green. Like, that's fine, but I like to get really deep into the Irish spirit. The problem is it's getting quite costly to get a car every year to blow up, so yeah, early 90s news articles. But anyway, drugs. Drugs can be a terrible thing at times, can't they? And the problem is there's so many victims involved, you know? Like, first thing that comes to mind is the users or the people whose stereo gets stolen for the users to buy their drugs. But there's so many more victims involved, you know? Like, does anyone remember a few years ago that news story about the primary school kids caught with the ecstasy pills? Yep, well, I do as well. And but that got me thinking, you know, there's so many victims involved. Like, does anyone think about the poor blue light disco DJ? This poor guy would have gone down the local record store and got enough music for the designated 3 hours of the dance. But now he's got to go back and get enough music to spin all night long. And is it any wonder these kids are turning to the pills? I mean, blue light disco. How are they supposed to find a vein? These are the true tragedies, you know? That didn't go down well. I just note to self, no more heroin jokes. Nah. Actually, I got one. Do you want to hear it? Nah. But anyway, does anyone have those friends who are are really into eBay and they try and get you into it, but like you don't really care? You got those friends? They're like, oh man, you really got to try eBay. And you say, why? Like, what's so good about it? And I say, well, it's amazing. You can just find these weird, obscure products that you haven't seen for years, and they're so cheap because the people are desperate to get rid of it. And I say back to them, like, you call this eBay. I call this junkies. See, there's the heroin thing. Because have you been on a train recently? Have you seen those guys like with all that artwork up and down their arms, and they've got those Adidas track pants that I haven't seen since the 90s, where you can unzip them at the sides. So, yeah, good times. But all right. Any requests? No. Anyway. But how about those theme parties? Anyone like them? Yeah, they're quite popular. You know, they have been for a while. You know how it goes. Like they pick a theme, you invite people around, everyone's having a good time. I wanted to hold one on my own, but I couldn't think of any ideas. So I just needed something to help me think. I put the radio on. I thought that'll help me brainstorm, maybe give me some ideas. And then that song came on by Prince, Party Like It's 1999. I thought that's a good idea. We should go with that. So I organised the party. The night came around. You know, it was really good. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Except this one little group who was over in the corner getting paranoid about the Y2K bug. So that's funny because nothing came of that. So. But yeah, good times. You know, like sometimes you think you're doing the right thing, but it's just not your day. And I'll give you an example. I was watching that TV show, New Inventors. You know that show? And this guy was on, and he created the most amazing thing. Like it was a bionic eye. So you can imagine that people blind for all their life finally have the ability to see. Like what an amazing thing. But sometimes it's just not your day because, unfortunately, he was up against the guy who created the avocado scoop. So, yeah. ABC, it's funny. Yeah, but anyway, I'll just been thinking lately about society. You know, just society in general. We're a bit of a strange bunch when you think about it. You know. Like, I don't know about you, but when I get quite a bit of coins building up in my wallet and I decide to spend those, I'm sure this happens to most people, when you decide to spend those coins, you end up saying to the clerk, sorry about the coins. Anyone get that? Yeah. But like, I do that, but it got me thinking, what are we apologising for? Sorry for making your ridiculously easy job just slightly difficult. I'm so sorry for using the allowable currency from the current location where I'm living to purchase the products that I intended to buy when I entered this retail outlet. So clearly it's society that's weird, isn't it? And the other thing about like society, you know, is it's really hard to get people to agree on fight locations, you know? Like a couple of times I've upset people in a bar or club somewhere. And every time they'll say to me, do you want to take it outside? But I'm thinking, no, not really. By the time we get out there, the moment's all gone, you know? So, yeah. Fight me now. No, that was silly. I wrote that 5 years ago. So. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening what I've said tonight. I'll just leave you with one more thought this evening, and that is like sports jerseys. It's been on my mind for a while, you know, and that is like here in Australia, a sports player will have the sponsor of the club on their jersey, and overseas they have the player's name. And it got me thinking, I wonder if this could create some confusion. Because back in the 90s, the Balmain Tigers, they were sponsored by Philips Electronics. And if a tourist was here from America, they might be watching a Tigers game and they'd probably think, gee, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips must be proud. All 17 sons made the Tigers squad. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening to what I've said. Have a great night. Thanks for supporting comedy.
Come on, make it nice and loud. Aaron Gocs over there. Come on, give it up, give it up. One of the toughest jobs in the world to stand up in front of strangers and try and make them laugh, man. He was talking about sports stars, though.